Welcome to the Raven Space on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Raven Space Mailbag, where we answer your questions about the Baltimore Ravens. I'm super excited. It's my favorite show, so let's hop right into the questions. Please subscribe to Raven Space on YouTube if you're not yet subscribed for the best Baltimore Ravens content on the internet. Also, a special shout out to our Patreon subscribers because you guys are the best. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna hop into the first question, right into it. And this question comes from Damali, who asks, who should I be mad at first on the Ravens? Good question, Ali. Now, I know you guys are looking at the names now and thinking to yourself, why is this, why doesn't it say just Ali, like a regular question would? Well, now you guys can send questions in through the comments on the video. So I'm just taking whatever name I see there and doing it like that. Boom. So to answer your question, Ali, I have changed on this topic. First, I thought it was the offensive line. Then I thought it was Joe Flacco. Then I thought it was Marty Mornhinweg. Now I know it's John Harbaugh. And I asked this to myself. Who's the boss? Who's in charge, right? John Harbaugh's in charge. John Harbaugh picked Marty Mornhinweg. He had a chance not to. Before that, John Harbaugh picked Mark Trestman. He had the chance not to. And this has been a continuing cascade of average offense. They had a chance to go and get some players to help out the team. John Harbaugh should have stood there and said, hey, we don't, we have Eric Weddle and Ladarius Webb. Ladarius Webb played great last year. We don't need Tony Jefferson. He could have said that. Don't give me Tony Jefferson. Instead, go give me some offensive linemen. Instead, go give me this. Instead of going to using your first 4 picks on defense, when I would say when the starting lineup doesn't include any of them, when you could have went and got an OJ Howard, who was on the board at the time when you picked Marlon Humphrey, and you and Ozzie, and I'm sure Ozzie asked you, and you said, let's go to get that Humphrey guy. Both of them from Alabama, so Ozzie would have been fine with both of them. You just, stuff like that. And so you have to blame the head coach. And it's sad because I like John Harbaugh. I think John Harbaugh is a top 5 head coach in this league. I just think he has a rough patch. I think that the Joe Flacco contract adds to that. I think it makes it harder to make decisions for John because John knows he needs a quarterback. John knows that when a quarterback and a coach come in the same year, they're often linked to each other. And it's hard for him to get rid of that, and I understand that. I just think that it's his fault because he's in charge, and he has to get it done. It's not Joe Flacco's fault that Joe Flacco has had 5 offensive coordinators in 6 years. That is not Joe Flacco's fault. It is not Ryan Jensen's fault that he is not as good as other centers who are still in free agency. It's just not his fault. It's nothing he can do, but I think it starts with John Harbaugh and it ends with John Harbaugh, which is sad to say. I would rather get rid of Joe Flacco before I get rid of John Harbaugh, but this is the NFL, and that's just not how it works. And you guys know that, and I know that, and it's just the truth. So let's move on to the next question. And see, this is one of the questions that have a weird name now that I'm doing it from the comments. And this question comes from Gods. If your name is weird, I might forego your question. This was just on the boundary. I'm not a religious guy, but and he says, is it safe to say the Ravens should look for a new quarterback? Yes, it is safe to say that they should start the process of looking for a quarterback replacement. Is it Woodrum? Is it Mallett? My answer to those questions would be no. But should you go ship Joe Flacco off? No, because if you do that, then you think this offense is bad now. Imagine Ryan Mallett being a starter, right? So you don't go ship off Joe Flacco, but what you do is you start the process. Okay, on your draft board, you should have quarterbacks high. You should. I know the Ravens don't have quarterbacks high on the draft board in the past because they felt they have a franchise quarterback. It's time to start looking into that. It's time to possibly use a 3rd round or a 2nd round quarterback sorry, a third round or second round pick on a quarterback. It's about time. Because if you don't, the Ravens could be in a situation where we need one and we don't have one, and then we turn to the Browns for about 3-4 years. And we don't want that here in Baltimore. I know fans don't want that. And I know the owner doesn't want that because he wants to sell tickets. So I think it is time that we start looking for a new quarterback in some shape or fashion. It does not have to be wholesale, but research has to start happening sooner or later. So this question comes from Johnny, and Johnny asks, will the offensive production change when Danny Woodhead returns? Thank you so much for your question, Johnny. Yes, it will. We'll be better on third down, I think, which is a big deal. Will we be a top 15 offense? I don't think so. It's one, Danny Woodhead's a running back. Running backs don't change your team like that overnight. They really just don't. Also, I think that the skills that would make the Ravens better, Danny Woodhead does not have. I think Buck Allen's a very good receiving back, and I do think Danny Woodhead is better than him, but not by much, to be honest with you. That's a lie. By much, but not by so much that it would change the way the game is played for the Ravens. Now, if we had a running back who was a great runner of the football, then I would say, okay, wait a minute now. If we can get a consistent run game, some play actions off of that, maybe we get something good, right? Maybe we get something decent. For right now, I don't think he can. I don't think he will. I think he's a good player. Danny Woodhead is. But I really do think that you convert a little bit more third downs, like 3rd and 5s. But to be honest, the Ravens haven't been in 3rd and 5s. The Ravens have been in 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 9s, because we can't run consistently. We can't complete short passes right now, and that forces us to make crazy throws, and that's just how the game goes. So thank you so much for that question. Now we're going to go to the last question of the day, and this question comes from Alexander, and Alexander asks, should the Ravens scam for Sam? I don't think this is a good question, to be honest with you, Alexander. I ain't going to pull a punch here. So if you guys don't know, scam for Sam basically means tank for Sam Darnold. There are a couple of teams that are they're planning on not planning on it, but they want to have the best chance to get the first pick to get Sam Darnold. If you guys saw the Ravens Space Daily for Thursday, I brought up the issue of having more mobile quarterbacks. Sam Darnold is that. He's a quarterback that keeps the play alive. That's his best ability. I would even say, I don't want to jump the gun, but I think Aaron Rodgers' best ability is keeping the play alive, and we see how valuable Aaron Rodgers is. So I think that's Sam Darnold's best ability. But the Ravens we're too talented on defense to not win a game for the rest of the season. We're too prideful of a team to do that as well. I think that the Browns have a good chance to get Sam Darnold, because they're tanking in their, they're 0-2. I mean, sorry, 0-4. I'm getting old. They're 0-4 right now. I think other teams that are 0-4, like the Giants, have a chance, because I don't think the Giants are very good, to be honest, especially on offense, similar to us. But I don't think they'll go like 2 wins. I think they'll get like 6 wins. But there's a chance for those type of teams, right? There's no chance, like the Colts have a chance. There's no chance in heck that the Ravens have a chance to get Sam Darnold. I think that the best thing the Ravens can do with their draft position is either go get a playmaker on offense who can change the game, or you go get an offensive lineman. That's it, because you don't get any defensive players. I'm over that. We can see now that, because the Ravens have a top defense. The Ravens may have the most talented defense in the league, but if you don't have a player on offense, you cannot win anymore. I don't care what you guys say about Peyton Manning, this and that. The Broncos had explosive players at receiver, at tight end. They had a decent offensive line. They had a good running back that was able to hide some of Peyton Manning's faults, right? The Ravens don't have that, right? The defense can do so much, right? So, like, for example, right now, the Ravens can't beat the Packers, and the Packers don't have a defense. The Packers have B tier receivers, but they have a great quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. So I need to see either Joe become a great quarterback, or you help Joe Flacco out, which you said you were going to do, John Harbaugh, but you didn't. So that's what I need to see with that pick. But it was a question that, was a nice dream, but we were just not going to be bad enough to get Sam Darnold. So, and that was the last question of today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to Ravens Space on YouTube for the best Baltimore Ravens content on the internet. Thank you guys so much, and go Ravens.